You know the feeling, right? It's Sunday afternoon. The weekend should be in full swing, but there it is. That creeping sense of dread, that little pit in your stomach. That's the shadow of Monday, and it is an absolute thief. Well, in this explainer, we're going to hand you the actual blueprints to build a fortress around your weekend and take your time back. So why does this even happen? I mean, really, why does a day that hasn't even started yet have so much power to ruin the one you're living right now? Let me tell you, you are not alone in feeling this, and more importantly, this is not some personal failure on your part. There's this incredible way of looking at it from a thought leader who goes by the architect. And they say this feeling, what we call the Sunday scaries, is actually a fundamental design flaw in our modern wiring. So today, we're going to deconstruct that flawed wiring, and then we're going to give you the tools to build something way, way better. Okay, so here's the real issue. Our always-on, constantly connected work culture has just completely bulldozed the boundaries between our work lives and our personal lives. The system itself is literally designed to creep into your personal time, unless you make a conscious choice to design a defense against it. To really get to the bottom of this, we're going to look at it through 4 totally different lenses. Think of these as the 4 hidden forces that are secretly hijacking your weekend without you even realizing it. This table right here, this is basically the blueprint of the problem. First up, the systemic view shows us that work's boundaries have just, poof, dissolved. Next, through something called Neuro-Linguistic Programming, or NLP, we'll see how your own thoughts are creating very real stress. Then, the interface explains why our brain just doesn't have an off switch. And finally, the Coherent Nexus shows what happens when your mind isn't where your body is. First, let's talk about the systemic view. Think of your life as being made up of different systems, right? You've got your family system, your personal life system, and your work system. Well, thanks to our digital world, that work system has become the dominant one. So even when you're physically on your couch on a Sunday, there's this unconscious loyalty pulling on you, making you feel like you have to be on just to keep up. Okay, next up, NLP. Now this is fascinating. When you start worrying about that big meeting on Monday, your brain doesn't actually know the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. It just goes, threat detected, and floods your body with stress hormones like cortisol. You are literally physically living Monday's stress on a Sunday. It's wild. Then we have the interface. I want you to imagine your brain is a computer. Every single unfinished task from Friday is like an open browser tab. It's just sitting there, quietly eating up your mental RAM all weekend long. There's actually a name for this, the Zeigarnik effect. Our brains are hardwired to obsess over incomplete tasks. Without a formal shutdown, they just keep running in the background, draining your battery. And finally, the Coherent Nexus. This is all about alignment. When your body is on the couch trying to relax, but your mind is already in that Monday morning meeting, your energy is completely fragmented. You're incoherent. You can't recharge because you're not fully present. And that's what leads to feeling so drained and out of it before the week has even begun. So, we've diagnosed the design flaw, we've taken the whole thing apart, but here's the good news, right? Every flaw can be fixed with a better blueprint. So now, let's switch gears from deconstruction to reconstruction. You know, the very first step is just reframing your internal dialogue. Check this out. Simply shifting your internal question from this passive survival mode frame, like, how will I get through this week, to an active, empowered one, like, what do I need to be my best self today? That tiny change can completely rewire your neurological state. And that brings us to the most practical, actionable part of our blueprint, the Friday closing ritual. Now, this isn't just some nice little idea. It is a structured 4-step process designed to fight back against each of those 4 forces we just talked about. And here's the deal. Here's the value proposition. You invest just 15 minutes at the end of your workday on Friday to buy back 48 hours of genuine, deep, restorative weekend time. I mean, come on, that's an absolutely incredible return on investment. Just like the architect says, we're leaving nothing to chance here. This is about consciously designing a process to build a bulletproof wall between your work week and your weekend. So let's walk through the 4 steps to build it. Here they are. Number 1, the RAM clear, to close all those mental tabs. 2, the physical boundary, to consciously log out of the work system. 3, the sluice gate, to create a psychological trigger for freedom. And 4, the now sync, to get your mind and body back on the same page, in the present moment. Okay, let's get specific. Step 1, the RAM clear. This one counters the interface problem. Just get a piece of paper and dump every single work thought out of your head and onto the page. Then circle the top 3 priorities for Monday. Boom, your brain can now relax. Step 2, the boundary. This tackles that systemic issue. I want you to actually say it out loud. My work for this week is done. You are consciously withdrawing your energy. Step 3, the sluice gate. This is pure NLP magic. You're going to create an anchor. As you physically close your laptop, play a specific weekend song. Over time, your brain will learn this combo means it is time to switch off. And finally, step 4, the now sync. This fixes your coherent nexus. Just take 2 minutes, that's it. 2 minutes of focused breathing, and set an intention for your weekend. Just be present.
So there you have it, a clear, actionable blueprint to completely redesign your weekend. The analysis is done, the plans are all drawn up. But now, the power and the responsibility, it shifts to you. So, what are the big takeaways here? First, please remember, the Sunday scaries are a flaw in the system, not a flaw in you. Second, you absolutely have the power to redesign your own boundaries. Third, your blueprint for doing that is the Friday closing ritual. And most importantly, never forget, you are the architect of your own time.
The plans are on the table, the tools are in your hands. The only question left is the one you see right now. You have the blueprints, so will you build it this Friday?